Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
on Kids Express!
Welcome to 3ABN Kids Express. Today we're going to talk with a young lady who loves exploring new ways to actively help others. And we're also going to discuss a little bit about how to shut out distractions so that we can keep our eyes focused on Jesus. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I am Angelica. Can you guess where in the world today's guests come from? Can you identify what state or country this is? If you said Texas, you will be correct. Let's welcome Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I'm so glad. And I see you're wearing your, what does it say?
Keen Rocketeers.
Keen Rocketeers, and that's your Pathfinder shirt?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're very involved with Pathfinders, aren't you?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Texas.
Texas is really big. We are, everything is bigger in Texas. Especially where I live in Keene. It is, super nice. Everything you could want is here.
Wow. So what do you like to do over there in Texas?
I actually really enjoy sports and reading and school.
So what kind of books do you like reading?
I love reading the Bible. And I also like reading Rich Aguilera. I really like his books. I think his books are really cool.
They're kind of fun because I think you said something about the mud guy. That's one of the books.
Yeah.
And we have some Bible adventures, and you can find them in our online store at 3ABN online store. So that's kind of cool that you like reading that. They're kind of funny. I enjoy how he brings things kind of in a humorous way. Is there something that stands out to you?
Just how, he talks about how God is just, amazing and yeah.
It is pretty amazing. And I like Texas because, like you said, everything is bigger in Texas. And there was one thing that I noticed when we were visiting, and we actually got to see you a while ago, but there was a lot of cattle there. And I think there's so many cattle that they say that there's 12 million cattle and calves. Did you know that? So there's a lot of ranches out there. Do you see them a lot?
There is.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what I like about Kids Express is that you can express the love of Jesus by sharing it with your community. So tell us a little bit about how you're sharing Jesus and his love.
Well, I'm in Pathfinders. I'm in PVE, which is, memorizing the Bible for God. I do a lot of school activities. I help with food bank, and I'm just there whenever anyone needs help.
And for those of you that don't know what PBE is, that's Pathfinder Bible Experience, is it?
Yes.
Is that what it is? And so they're trying to memorize the Bible because they have a little, I want to say competition, but they want to see which groups can participate. And I know my daughter is involved in that, and so you're also involved?
Yes.
It's kind of fun learning the Bible, and I think right now you're in Joshua, is that it? In Judges?
Mm-hmm. Joshua and Judges.
That's right. That's kind of fun. So tell us a little bit more about when you are witnessing, you're part of Pathfinders. What do you do for your Pathfinder group?
So actually right now we are saving up because we have a huge camporee in Gillette. So, we're doing things for that, which is, everyone's going to be there. And we get to earn pins, and we get to help the community, and we just get to have a lot of fun with a lot of friends.
I know you were having something with those oranges. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so that was actually food bank. I think it's every first Sabbath of the month. My church puts together a food bank for those in the community that, need food, and we just come and volunteer. We put food in baskets, and then give it out to cars, and it's really cool doing that.
That is fun. So I know something about you also help your mom on the after school. And so what do you do after school?
Well, sometimes I don't really help my mom necessarily because she is actually a teacher at my school.
She is.
But yes, but I like helping other teachers, especially the grades below me. Sometimes I grade their papers, I sort their papers, I kind of help teachers, clean up their classroom. I do some things like that.
I value kids like you that want to help the teacher, because I used to be a teacher and you can never have enough grading to do. And so that to me is actually a big deal, because you learn a lot about kids also, and you are supporting the teacher. So even though that might be something that you might be stuck after school, so I'm glad you're helping other teachers and not just your mom, who's also a teacher. But I'm glad you're kind of witnessing in that way too, because the kids also, you get to know the kids, and they look up to you when you're grading their paper. It comes up with some interesting conversations. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to think also about if there was something that you wanted to grow and to be more like Jesus. What would that be? Because this is another fun part of Kids Express, is that we identify how we want to be more like Jesus. Is there something that stands out to you that you want to look toward?
I definitely want to keep focusing myself on God. Because, every day around me, even at school, electronics, friends, there are gazillion things that are trying to steer me away from God. And, as I know, I'm, growing up, I'm getting bigger, I'm getting older. And I just want to keep, looking at God and, focusing on his commandments. And I just, want to stay true to him.
Yeah, there's a song that is "Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus," and I really like the refrain because it says, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look for in his wonderful care. All the things that dwell on earth will draw sooner. It'll go
Strangely dim, right?
Yeah, it's strangely dim in the light of his glory and praise."
You both, I believe, can sing. And you both love music, and that is a powerful song, that you realize that we can focus on Jesus. Turn your eyes on Jesus. Do you ever sing that song to yourself when you get a little distracted?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song to sing when you realize you're getting a little distracted and say, I've got to focus on Jesus. So what things have the two of you tried to do when you realize you're getting distracted? Because like you said, the gazillion things that distract us. How do you catch yourself and go back and look and focus to Jesus? What kind of things have both of you tried? Go ahead, Sophia.
Well, yeah, I've tried, I read my Bible, especially, because, sometimes I can just open my Bible, I just turn to a random page, and, it just happens to be the exact thing I need. Sometimes, I go to some of my friends, because I have some, very nice friends that is cool to turn to when I need help, some help like that. I go to my parents too, whenever I need help, I'll go to my parents and they'll help me, or I just sit down and pray.
I really think that's powerful. What do you try to do, Angelica?
Well, in the stores, there are TVs and they just, it happens to be attractive because, Satan is doing as much as he can to attract kids to, start going into that. And then once they get old, they just are completely off the path of right. And so, yeah, we try to be on the right path when we are still kids. And I just try to not look at them or, try to do something else. That way I don't look at that or, look at at the grocery list or, whatever can help me get off of those TVs.
It's good that you recognize, and even at your age, we can always find these distractions of sometimes what happens when we're distracted and we catch ourselves. And that's very important that you're realizing it and you're in that training that God's working with us. And I like how you also mentioned, Sophia, that you surround yourself with friends that help you stay on the right path or stay focused, and that they think like you, and that's really important. Or you ask your parents, and I like how you also said you want to be able to help others. So you're encouraging your team or your friends to stay kind of focused and not get distracted. But one of the other things that I like is that you have to consistently ask the Holy Spirit to live within you. Like for me, that's a big deal because I realize sometimes I'm so distracted and I forget the keen focus of what God wants me to do. That's kind of, you don't think of that, but sometimes we just need to have God. You're right. You know, I'm thinking of a Bible verse, and can we look at Psalms? And let's try Psalm 16, verse 8. Would you kindly read that for us, Angelica?
Sure.
You need some help? Oh, you've got it. Look at you. Go ahead. Psalm 16, verse 8.
I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved.
I shall not be moved. And you know, God is always right there, always wanting to help us see him. Now I'm thinking of binoculars. Do you ever use binoculars? Have you ever used binoculars? I love binoculars, and I usually do that when I'm looking for birds, you know, and I'm always trying to identify, oops, I gotta open this up. And I wanna focus, but sometimes you realize you have to adjust it, and then when I pass it to my daughter, and she has to adjust it, our focus might not be, it might be always growing, and so we have to adjust our focus to look to who?
Jesus.
To Jesus, you're right. And you know, I'm thinking also of how we can always, do you remember the story of Lot and his wife? What happened?
They were, so what happened was,
Lot was taken
Lot
out with the angels out of
and
Sodom.
And then the Lot's wife, she looked back to the Sodom and Gomorrah, to the fire.
You're right.
And then she became
a pillar of salt. Oh no!
You know, I used to think when I was little that we were eating the salt from her.
Oh no! But you know what? When I was little, I always thought that we had to keep our eyes constantly focused on Jesus.
Yes.
And I would like practice staring at one spot. And I realized that it's more my heart that needs to be focused on God and continually think of him. That's kind of interesting, right? You know, I almost forgot something. We forgot to talk about the beaver nuggets. That's kind of a famous snack that started in Texas, right? And I can't wait to try these. We're going to try them in a little bit. But these beaver nuggets, and I had to bring our craft. This is a beaver craft, and you can find it on our 3abnkids.tv website. And you can find that on our website and make the craft as well. But that's kind of interesting. But I think it's time for a question. Can we go to a question real quick?
Yes. So our question for today has to do with what we've been talking about. It's from Aviana in Ohio, and she asked, what can I do to stay focused? What Bible verse can help me focus?
You know what? I'm reminded about Peter. Remember the storm that was crashing at the waves, and the disciples thought that there was a ghost that was there? And Jesus said, what did he say? It is I, do not be afraid. He's just as calm as can be. And so Peter's like, if it is you, tell me to come to you. And so Peter goes out of the boat, and he's ready to tell his disciples, hey, look at me. And what happened? He started sinking.
Yeah.
And you know, that's, even though we sometimes mess up and we get our eyes out of focus, Jesus is right there to help us stay focused. And he's right there to give his hand to help us in the times of need. So we can always depend on him. No matter what kind of storms we face, he's always there. And thank you so much, Sophia, for joining us on Kids Express. And we thank you for joining us on
Kids Express!